Hey Corey, could you touch on how Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook have affected dating?
Have affected dating? Well, I would have to assume that the origination of this question probably comes from the red pill community because they're always complaining that social media has ruined modern women because all they have to do is go post a few bikini pics and they get thousands of thirsty dudes basically throwing their peepees at them. And so therefore, if you're dating one of these girls that's getting thousands of peepees thrown at her on the daily and dudes slide in the DM, she's gonna probably drop you for Chad Thundercock because he's just more handsome and more successful. And so there are women, I mean, the thing that I've noticed is that social media, especially like when you take into account like OnlyFans or the seeking arrangement type of thing, is that you got women like when I was growing up that normally, they're strippers or they're sex workers or there's some rich guy's mistress and he buys her a nice place to live in, pays all of her bills, and then when his wife is away or whatever, he goes over and hangs out, has fun, hooks up with her. And these kinds of things have always happened throughout human history. But with the internet, now you see a lot of those women you can see them on social media. And so it really depends. Unless you're the girl you're talking about, the girl in question is a model and she's continuously, posting pictures in bikini, or maybe she's really fit and in shape and she's doing videos or Instagram stories getting you to buy a protein powder or something like that, or her jewelry or whatever. If she's doing nothing more than posting her bikini pictures on there, and especially like when you're in a relationship, if you're supposedly in a relationship and you're exclusive and yet your girlfriend is constantly posting very provocative pictures on the internet to get attention from other guys, that would communicate that she's obviously got some daddy issues. And so women that grew up without a father oftentimes never really learned what it's like to have a stable masculine presence in her life. And so she often learns a dysfunctional way to get her daddy needs met, if you will, through attention and validation. It's like a chick that's a hot bartender that comes from that kind of a background, and yet she lives with her boyfriend, or it could be a nurse for that matter that lives with the boyfriend, and like I said, if it's the hot bartender, she supposedly is in a relationship, maybe lives with her boyfriend, yet she still gives out her phone number to guys because, oh, they're just friends, or oh, this is a regular customer, he's been coming in for a long time, and he invites her out to dinner. I mean, at the end of the day, character is destiny. A woman who values loyalty, monogamy, exclusivity, shares that kind of a value system is going to typically come from that kind of an environment. But girls that grow up without fathers or came from dysfunctional homes or they have bad relationships or they hate their fathers, those kinds of women, because I've been doing this 20 years at this point, is they're typically going to be doing those things. They're typically going to constantly be inviting attention from other men. And you can say social media magnifies it, but I don't look at that way a lot of the guys in the red pill community do, is saying it caused it. It magnifies the issue. So if a woman is predisposed because she came from a broken home to do those kinds of things, it could be a nurse for that matter. And nurses oftentimes tend to be a little freaky just because they're dealing with death and bodily fluids and gross stuff all day long. It's kind of like guys in the military. They kind of have like gallows humor, they call it. And it boils down to the character. If she is a loyal, faithful, monogamous woman, and maybe she was posting pictures of her and her girlfriends, I mean, they're going to occasionally do things like that. But where a girl is like every day, a new Instagram story, a new picture of herself in a bikini, or a picture at the beach, or, oh, look at me in my fabulous restaurant or my fabulous vacation, that's obviously somebody that's trying to present an image, probably trying to get attention. And if you get involved with girls like that and you have a discussion with them about, hey, we're living together, or we've been dating 6 months, and you're still, if you look at your social media, there's no, the dude's not usually anywhere in any of her social media. It's just her showing off her body and her boobs and everything else. And so you just have to look at how is she utilizing social media? Is she utilizing it to constantly get attention and validation from other men because she didn't get it growing up? Those kind of women, even when you have conversations with them, oftentimes they'll seem to comply, and then they keep doing things of that nature. Women that are in happy relationships are typically not going to be vomiting all over social media. Oh, look at me and my boyfriend. Or look at me and my husband. How great and fabulous this vacation we took was. It's social media is, for the most part, it's bullshit, and you can get really depressed, especially when you're looking at your other friends, like, oh, they're living such a fabulous life. But the reality is, people that are happy are typically, they might post something every once in a while or every few months or whatever with her and her husband or her boyfriend, or her and her man and her kids, but they're not going to be constantly posting videos that invite attention from other men, because the guys that see that stuff, that are reaching out or slide into her DMs, it's like they're taking it as a signal that she's single. And so you really have to take it on a case by case basis. Women who value family, loyalty, monogamy, exclusivity, want to be with one guy, have kids or whatever, are just simply not going to do those kinds of things. And so you got two kinds of girls. You got the hookup girls, and you got the girls that are good for relationships. And so you have to figure out which one you're dealing with and act accordingly. You can't just take a broad brush like the guys in the red pill community do, and they use it as an excuse to be mad and pissed off and hate all women, or modern women, or the Western women, and they're all bad. It's just, that's just not the way it works. But that point of view gets validated because you get the, like, the outrage farms, if you will, or the outrage podcasts, where they have nothing but OnlyFans girls and sex workers, and all the women that are on their shows usually are girls that come from broken homes. And then they're trying to present the image to the guys that are watching these shows that that's the modern dating market, that's the modern woman, that's what you have to deal with. They're pushing a narrative. And you never see family-oriented girls or church-oriented girls or girls that are in happy relationships on those shows. They get girls on there, they're going to say stupid things and look stupid, or they're going to berate a sex worker and, puff themselves up. It's like, it's great for clickbait, but it's not representative of what's going on in the real world. Yeah, there's plenty of women that come from broken homes, but if you're looking for somebody that shares your value system, that's part of the vetting process in the beginning. You got to find out what you're dealing with. You don't try to turn a hoe into a housewife, and you're not going to be trying to bring home the girl to your mom who is constantly, posting pictures of her bent over in front of the mirror with her really teeny, eeny weeny bikini, where you can see the camel toe and everything. So that's just a fact of life. So do I think social media has changed modern women? No, I think it's magnified and made it easy for the women that already kind of fit into that category to really get seen on a global level. But the family-oriented girls, it's like, like a lot of my friends that have their daughters, the daughters aren't posting thirst traps. And if they were, the parents would be saying, like, hey, that's kind of inappropriate, because you're inviting attention from other guys. Like we have a girl that we all know that was getting death threats because of a guy that got frustrated because he had the idea that because she's posted all these thirsty type of things on her that she's inviting attention, and so in his mind he's going to be the guy that gets her, and of course she's blocked him, and then he starts sending her death threats and things, and so it depends on the attention you put out into the world. So it's character's destiny. Typically good family-oriented women they're not posting thirsty stuff. So if you're trying to vet a girl, let's look at her social media. What type of attention is she inviting? Is she an occasional picture here and there, and her in a bikini with her friends or whatever up by the pool? Like, whatever, no big deal. But if it's all day, every day, just nonstop thirst trap, her bending over, doing very provocative type of poses like a stripper would do, then obviously you probably got an issue there. And it's best to just hang out, have fun, and hook up, but don't stick around too long. You're just passing through.